Slab Beauties and Flawless Men. This evening, we're going to keep it real, okay? The first thing I want to start by saying is I know a lot of people think it's a conspiracy theory about how we got here or how everything was created. It's just science, 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 science. Some things cannot just be science. Like, everything is not science. And so the first thing I always like to refer to is, well, if science was withholding information, then why did they take the Bible out of schools? Like, I never understood that. And I always refer to that like, if it's not real, if it's not important, and it doesn't have anything to do with us, and we should just go on by what you're saying, then why was the Bible once even in school? And then why was it taken out of school? And so it's like, you have natural elements and then you have genetically modified elements. When something is genetically modified, it is made in a lab. It's fake. People in their lives are not fake. We were not made in a lab. If you produce a seed tonight, that will not be fake. Like, it's not like somebody standing there putting the parts together. That's not how it works. And so we're going back to the beginning, because, well, the information has not been withheld from us. It's just been made in a sense to where we think it's fake, or we may not never learned about it or heard about it. But I want you to know that nothing is fake. Everything is literally made by God. And we're starting in Genesis. I'm going to read Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 19. And there's some things in here that I did read as well that I wanted to show you about time as well. I don't know if you heard people say that before, like, oh, our time is different from heavenly time. It is. Like, our days, our hours, everything is just completely different. A lot of the things that we surround ourselves with is genetically modified, like it's fake. But everything came from somewhere, and it all came from God. We all want to know who God is, who God is, who God is. God is a spirit. He's always been a spirit first, before he became a man. We'll talk about that later, but God, he started his story. This is God's story. Him telling you how he created everything. We have to be able to see God's story with spiritual eyes, because we're human, but we're reading about a spirit, right? This is what God said he did. This is what he said he did. This is the first book of Moses, called Genesis. And another thing, like I said, well, how is Moses already got a first book and Moses doesn't show up until like the end of Genesis? Because God is everywhere. God works through people. God does what he wants to do. So this is God's story. This is the beginning of God's story, and him telling you how he made everything. And then he's telling you off rip that this book, that this story is going to circle around someone named Moses, which is God. It's still the same person. It's just God in human form. But let's talk about God, the Spirit. This is chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The heaven and the earth. So we know that there is a heaven and there is an earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. God made the heaven and the earth. And he said, he's telling us what this was. It was completely dark here. There was nothing there. There wasn't any shape. There was nothing here. And he said, he spoke. That's God manifesting every single thing. And this is where men and scientists, they know that they can use that power because they know God is within them, like he's in all of us. So they know that. So now they say, okay, we can just say we did it. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. God is a spirit. And he's telling you that he moved around the water. So he's saying that it was dark here. It was without form and void. And he spoke and said, let there be light. And there was light. Right after that, he's saying that there was nothing but water here. And he said his spirit moved upon the water. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. God said the light is good. He said, okay, this separation is good. This separation of night and day is good. So the first day we're going to call this morning and evening. To be honest, I just read through what we're going to read through today, and I ain't see nothing about an afternoon. There was just a night and a day. That was it. Maybe we'll check up on that later. And the morning and the evening were the first day. Okay. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water, and let it divide the waters from the water. When I looked up the definition, firmament, it is the sky. It is the top. It is heaven. So God said, let there be a sky in the middle of the water, and let it divide the waters. Okay. So it's dark, and now there's light, and there's nothing but water here. And God said, let the waters divide the water. Let it divide itself. And I'll put the sky in the middle. So that's all we had here first. Okay. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. God said, we're going to put some water up here. We're going to put some water down here. The firmament that's in the middle, we're going to call that, or I'm going to call that heaven up here. And then that water is going to be separated from this water. So now we know that when we look up, we're looking at the firmament. We're looking at what God made. He made the sky. We're looking at the separated waters. We have water here and there's water there. When it rains, it precipitates from heaven down to earth. Okay. And God said the firmament is called heaven. So he separated everything. Okay. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be greater. Let the waters under heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called the seas. And God saw it was good. God said, okay, look. Now I got the heaven up here, the firmament. We got water up here. We got water down here. Now I'm just going to speak these words and gather all of these waters together. And these are going to be called the seas. Okay. Different body of seas. And the rest of this land is going to be called dry land. Now I'm going to call this earth. So now he go back up and he said in the beginning, he separated the day from the night. And the day, he said in the beginning, he created the heaven and the earth. So he showed you and he told you how he created the heaven and the earth. And he said it was good. He said, okay, this is good. And God saw that, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seeds after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Okay, so we still just see the evening and the morning for 3 days. God's time is different than our time. Right? And then he said, okay, we got the heavens, we got the earth. Bring forth grass. God said with his mouth, there was no genetically modified grass and any of those things. God said it, and it appeared here on this land. He said, let the earth bring forth grass. And the earth, the dry land, it brought forth grass. Okay. The herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind. An herb yielding seed is an herb that has a seed after itself. So it will be able to multiply. So he said, bring forth grass, bring forth herbs that will yield seeds, something that'll be able to keep multiplying. Let the fruit be after his kind. Let the trees be after their kind. An apple has a seed, so you can have more apples. That one apple probably will produce like 1,000 apples. Now, we look now and we see genetically modified fruit. We can't make this up. Our fruit is supposed to have seeds. I noticed this months ago. A lot of the fruit does not have seeds. I don't eat fruit that do not have seed. Quick story time. I tried it because I was fiending for some watermelon. Nobody had seeds in their watermelon. I tried one from, I think, Kroger. That watermelon was sour. I cut the whole watermelon. I took a half to work and I ate it, and it didn't really have no taste. And I was like, nah, this don't even look right. The texture was different. It looked darker. I was like, ugh, I shouldn't even got this. Got back home that same day. After 24 hours, that watermelon was completely rotten. It was sour and it stunk my entire refrigerator after one day. God said our fruit is supposed to have seeds that yield after each other. If it do not, it's fake. It's fake. Just flat out, it's fake. It's fake. It don't matter what it look like. It's fake. It's supposed to have a seed because it comes from the ground. The ground produces these fruits. If it's not, then it's fake. God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Okay, in real life, we have seasons. We have days, we have years, and we have signs. God said this is all good. The heavens is good. The dry land is good. The grass is good. Let the earth bring forth fruit that's going to yield seed after itself. And then he said, let the heaven have light. We need light up here, right? So we can divide the day from the night and let that light separate different seasons, different years, and different days. You know how we'll say that, let thy will be done here on earth as it is in heaven. I'm 100% sure that heaven is very different. It looks very different, but there are still things that happen there that happens here. God said there is seasons there. There are seasons here. He said the light there will let us know here that it's a new season. When it's the summertime here, we know that it's the summertime there. When it's the wintertime there, we know that it's the wintertime there. Even if the summer in heaven is not hot, even if it's not cold, we won't know until we get there. But we do know that the seasons, the lights, it comes from God. It comes from the heaven. The seasons, the days, and the years, we know that that comes from heaven. And let them be for light in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. God said, look, this light up here, that's what's going to run the earth down there. It's summer. Okay, it's summer there. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God said this greater light is going to be for the day, and the lesser light is going to be for the night. So you can know the different days, so you can know the different seasons. But understand that that comes from God. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. We know that God's timing is different, because even by the fourth day, he still said that this day was good, the evening and the night was good. In the beginning, God is telling us exactly what it is that he did. He spoke life over this planet, and he said that it was good. God did not say it was bad to be here. God did not say we cannot live here. God did not say it's supposed to be bad while we're here. God said there is different lights, there is different seasons, there is a morning and an evening. There is water here that he called the seas. We should have fruit that yield after each other. God created every single thing. He created everything. And with his spirit, he spoke. Okay. We don't know, spiritually, We know how the Spirit of God sounds, but in the beginning, he said his Spirit moved upon the face, and he said, let there be light. So we know God talks, right? We know God speaks to us. We just have to get in contact with him so we can know how he sounds. Let me back up, because I was like, God don't sound. No, God does has a voice, okay? We just have a hard time hearing his voice because we're so distracted. We're so caught up in being just regular humans when we're spirits. So when we tap into the Spirit, then we'll hear from the Spirit. God said everything. And this is why he tells us to be careful with our words, because just as he did, because he is within us, we will be able to bring things to pass. So you want to be careful with what it is you're saying, because it will come to pass. And if it's good, it's going to be good. If it's bad, it's going to be bad. This is life. Man did not make anything that the Lord didn't give them the strength to make, but God made everything. Before anybody was ever here, God made grass, God made animals, he made fruits, everything after their kind, and he said it was good. God never said it was bad to not eat fruit. He said the fruit got to have some seeds in it. So this was just something quick. I just wanted to read that and speak about it, that God literally made everything, and God said his Spirit was over every single thing. So it's not hard for us to get in contact with the Spirit of God. It's not hard for us to get in contact with God. You go outside, you look up in the sky, you're looking at the firmament. You're looking at something that God made. Man cannot do that. Man cannot do that. So I want you to go and read Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 19. And I want you to ask God for understanding and see what it is that you'll get from reading that script. We all get different interpretations, but it is what God says it is. We have to read and seek knowledge so we can gain wisdom as well. It's not just one person is reading and coming to tell us, and the work is already done. It's already done. But we still must be aware, because we are here thinking like, oh yeah, so what they about to do next? Oh my God, like how they're talking about they want to turn the power off and do this and do that. Men only have so much control. They can't do that for the whole world. They can probably do it for a region, a nation, because see, they done got too smart for themselves. So they know, okay, look, we about to get up here, cut them power lines, and then they're going to be done for like 3-4 days to a week or something. And it's happening in the real world. But no man on this earth can completely shut that light off until God completely shut that light off, because God turned that light on and he said it was good. It is good to live here. It is good to be here. It will always be good to live here until God says, okay, we're moving on to the next season. God wants us to know that he is ruler of our lives. He created every single thing. Alexus Love will always encourage you to read. It doesn't matter if you stumble. Girl, you be saying how I be tripping. Girl, you be saying how some words don't become. It doesn't matter. Do not be afraid. God will meet you where you are. He knows that you're trying to learn. He knows that you're trying to get an understanding. And this is why you will live forever. And you will live a peaceful life, because you're not just acting like you're not just out here like, okay, I don't gotta know nothing. Like, I'm just gonna be out here. No, God said his people perish for the lack of knowledge. God see you trying to learn. He not tripping on no word or two. Just, Lord, I don't even know what that means for real. Lord, could you help me with that? He's going to meet you where you are. God wants us to know that he made everything. He made everything. And it don't matter what it look like. It don't matter about no new fruit that they making. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you not to eat it. Don't eat it. We don't know what it is. It's everything. Grapes. Watermelon don't have seeds. I have yet to see apples and things like that. If it does not have seeds, do not eat it, because we don't ask them questions, but we want to ask everybody else questions. We want to question God and be like, is God real? Like, well, like, where this come from? But we don't want to question them like, hold on, wait, like, why this thing got no seasoning? No, I'm asking that, like, why this thing got no seasoning? Who about that? I'm not eating that. No. Alexus Love Beauties, we're not eating fruits with no seeds. If it don't yield after its kind, baby, we don't want it. God did not say that was good. I pray that you will read Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 through 19. Ask the Lord for understanding, and do not be discouraged. Do not be afraid nor ashamed, because the Lord will meet you there. He will meet you there, and he will bring a great peace upon you to where you will be comfortable. Continue to build a relationship with God. Speak out so he can know your voice. God don't know who we are. Let me back up. He knows who we are because he made us all. We're all wonderfully made in his image, right? But God, if you don't speak to him, how will he know your voice? The last thing we want to happen is, at the end of everything, is that we thought it was all fake and it was all conspiracy theory, and then we get up trying to get judgment, and God is like, flee from me, I never knew you. Like, he like, I don't recognize that person. That's not what we want. We want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. I know who you are. I know your voice. I know you. Like, okay. See, the reason why God will say he don't know you is because we've been down here in this world and we took on things of this world. God don't know that. God don't know turning up. God don't know that, because that's not how he get down. That's all of the stuff from the enemy. So we have to build that relationship with him so he could be like, yup. The lamb, they're going to be up there. They're going to be like, yeah. You see him in the book of life? Yeah, I did see him up there. Yeah. Okay, that's my child. Okay, you can go ahead. Yeah. We gonna have you get. Seriously, we want to build a relationship with God. Let's start right here. Let's begin to ask, like, who is, test the spirit by the spirit. Don't just go by me. Be like, girl, I'm about to look this up. Go look it up. Look it up. But I would say read from, a book, because the information that I done read from apps, girl, and it was just all over the place. Get you a Bible if you don't have one, and if all you have is the internet, that is fine. Start from the beginning. If you don't know where to start from right here. Like, what is it? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Like, what? That's an eye-opener right there. The heavens and... Hold on. God wants to tell us who he is and what he's done as a spirit and through man. And he wants the same thing from us. It's a relationship. He wants us to be able to be like, hey, God, this is what I done. Communication. Alexus loves you. Mwah.